right, folks, welcome back to Tales from the Longbox. This is our Paul's Pull List episode for the week, where we look forward to the best comics that are coming up in this week. So, Paul, we're going to jump right over to you. What's on your list?
All right. Well, I kept it to five this week, not because there was any more that were more than five that were good. I just decided to try to keep it to five because I got tired of talking about 10 last week. So there you go. I'm lazy. All right. Number one, With a Bullet, one of my childhood favorites and a future state title, Shazam number one. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge Shazam fan, second only to Green Lantern. I don't know the premise of the story. I just know they've mentioned him and his family in the Teen Titans title from last week. So there's going to be a tie into that. Honestly, I don't need to know much more. It's Shazam. Love him.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was maybe still Billy Batson.
Yep. It looks like Billy Batson. It doesn't. I don't know about the extended family, if beyond Mary Marvel and Captain Marvel Jr. or whatever he calls himself. Beyond them, I don't know if any other characters will be around. I don't know if Black Adam will make an appearance in this or what, but it's all fairly new.
Yeah, that's one that I've not really seen anything about. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out.
I mean, I'm kind of glad. Yeah, I like it to be a surprise. I don't want to be. I don't want any bad preconceptions, And the first run of Future State, not bad. Second week's had a lot better stuff to me, so I'm hoping this third week will be good.
I'm hoping for some stuff in the third week. I got to be honest. I posted an article up on the website with my thoughts on the second wave of Future State stuff, and I'm getting a little burnout on the post-apocalyptic futures that everybody seems to be in. We talked about how they were, building the mystery on some of these things. But it's like there's a formula, and the formula is let's jump right into the action, and, something catastrophic has happened and there's been deaths of major characters or the city's been transformed or whatever. And it's just starting to wear on me. The ones I like the most are the ones that are kind of a little more bright and upbeat, like Wonder Woman and trying to remember what the one was this past week. Anyway, that's not the one. We're looking forward. Looking forward to 3.
Yeah, right. Well, Shazam usually is very upbeat. Usually it's a bright and happy comic. It's the anti-dark comic. You rarely see anything beyond that's just not fun and innocent in it.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to that. Speaking of formulas of what to do, take a universe, throw in a bunch of bad stuff, and wrap every title in together. That is Marvel's formula for success. And my number 2 is the King in Black number 3.
Yeah, it's got to be high on the list.
Yep. I mean, after our discussion last time we talked comics with Danny, we did a whole episode on the King in Black. It'd be kind of hard for me not to have number 3 in.
Yeah.
Looks like Thor is going to have some issues in this one, maybe. So I expect more bad stuff for the Marvel heroes.
Oh, I'm with you. I think probably it's going to continue to just escalate and get worse and worse and worse for them issue by issue till we get near the climax of this thing. Interestingly, did you see a lot of stuff this week that ties into King in Black?
No. I've got pardon me while I look off screen, but I've got this week's list pulled up, and I did not really see anything.
I didn't really see anything either.
Honestly, that may be good because the last few weeks they have bombarded us with tie-in after tie-in. And
it's probably a good idea to give you just the main issue in a week and then do tie-in stuff, the following week maybe.
The only bad thing about that, well, it's not really a bad thing, but when they only have 1 week of a big main issue, bad stuff's happening. Somebody's dying.
Yeah. I think that's the point is you're going to have like a week to digest what happened in that issue.
Digest all the bad pookie that is about to be flung your way.
Yes.
Speaking of flinging pookie, let's stay in the Marvel universe. Avengers 41, issue number 41. where they're taking a page from the X-Men. The Phoenix Force is in town, and this time it's not looking for the merry X-Men. It's after Avengers.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they've been building up to this last 2 or 3 issues, and the cover. Let me pull up the cover. If I'm not mistaken, that's Namor on the cover. No, I'm sorry, that is T'Challa. So that you got the Black Phoenix Panther. You're gonna have a Black Captain America Phoenix, and you're gonna have a Namor Phoenix, which we've seen that in the Avengers titles.
See, this is one of the frustrating things to me. This is like that repetition where it's just like, okay, let's pick a random thing that's somewhat popular and make everybody that thing in the whole universe.
Yeah.
Like, do we have to see every member of the Marvel universe be the Phoenix? Do we have to see that, really?
I was going to say that's what's setting this apart for me, and I kind of like. I love the X-Men, but I'm sick and tired of seeing the Phoenix and X-Men, X-Men and Phoenix and X-Men. At least have some other different characters, have to tangle with this fiery chicken.
I don't know. It's like everybody's Wolverine, everybody's Spider-Man, everybody's the Hulk, everybody's Thor, everybody's
Hey, don't say that too loud. Last time the Phoenix was in town, Wolverine had fiery claws, which they've kind of forgot about that, and I'm hoping they have forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason for him to have hot pockets in his hands and pop out. I mean, there's just no reason for that.
Whoa, man, hot pockets are like a dangerous weapon these days.
I mean, you eat them right out of the microwave, that molten lava that hits the roof of your mouth, that is weaponized.
Well, they've done like a massive recall on them because they had glass and stuff in hot pockets. So
have glass? Well, how would you ever know? I mean, that glass might be the volcanic glass from the heat of that.
That's just regular fillings for
yeah.
Just gives a little texture.
And the hot pockets. Wolverine's from Canada. He's got to clear his driveway somehow. That will his walkway and driveway. That'll make it easy to clear.
Yeah, they put Canadian bacon in them up there. That's I don't put up with that. All right, what's next on your list?
Speaking of bacon, here's some more pork. How about the Future State Nightwing? I give it kind of that was a bad intro to Nightwing. The Bat titles have been pretty consistent and pretty decent in my opinion. They've actually been my most consistently liked comics of the Future State. That doesn't mean I don't like the Wonder Woman comics and some of the other stuff, but the Bat titles have all tied in like they always do. Yes. They've got a pretty good story. More in its Batman and his family down street level crimes, not fighting cosmic big bads. So Nightwing has also been one of my absolute favorite characters. If I had to pick a Bat character above all the others, it would be Nightwing, hands down. So looking forward to this title just to see what they do to him.
Yeah, no, I agree. The Bat comics have been, and I think it's because they're all tied into that the same Gotham, the same future, and that helps that whole bunch of comics to play in the same sandbox.
Yeah.
The one that I really liked from Batch 2 that wasn't a Bat comic was Superman Wonder Woman. That was a little brighter, a little happier, and Wonder Woman was consistent with the character that we saw in the Wonder Woman issue. Jonathan Kent were consistent with the Jonathan Kent we know from the current run of comics.
You're absolutely correct on all that information, but I got to say I didn't care for it that much. And it's not because of the Wonder Woman. I like the Wonder Woman character. I'm just not sold on Jonathan Kent. I like him as Superboy. I like him as in the Legion of Superheroes in the future. I'm just not so sure I'm sold on the adult version of him yet. Now, there's time to, we got one more issue. So he better shape up or ship out in this one more issue. Well, that's it. We may never see him again.
I liked him a lot better in that one than I did in his own comic, though.
Okay, yeah, I'll give him that.
Yeah, and Wonder Woman and Jonathan Kent in the Justice League issue, neither of those really seem to be like they were in the other comics. There's no consistency with those characters across the board.
That's the biggest problem with Justice League in any of the big group comics, Avengers, Justice League, X-Men. There's not enough character development for individual characters, and different writers, they don't necessarily follow the same formula. What works in one comic will transition over to the big team groups. Sometimes the team groups are phenomenal, but sometimes they fall a little short of the individual comics. I think Justice League did that.
Yep. All right, what else you got? Bag of tricks.
Last but not least, this is a new one to me. I'm going to call it a number 5 with a bullet because you have the one that's turned me on to this comic. It's an independent title, it's Image, and it's 7 to Eternity. It's number 6. Yes, those drawings and the stuff right behind you there. And actually, I'm going to let you talk about this if you don't mind, because I can honestly say there's 16 issues out of this comic. I'm up to issue 3, and I'm quickly binge reading it. I'm very intrigued, and I put it on this list just to draw more attention to it, because I know for a fact if I was up to, I feel like I know for a fact if I was up to this current issue, I'd be dying to read it just based on the 3 I've read so far. So please tell me what you know about it.
Yeah, this is a story by Rick Remender. He's got a whole lot of stuff at Image that is all creator owned stuff, and he's got a reputation for putting his characters through the ringer, particularly in the first portions of a story, and then things get a little happier, if you want to say that, later in the story. But this one starts out with a bang. It's very creative. It's different. It's high fantasy, but it's not orcs and elves and the usual things.
No, I got a weird Dungeons and Dragons / X-Men feel to it. I don't know why, because there was all unique individual characters with what seemed like a mutant power or an individual power that's unique to them.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, they're kind of born with it, and there's sort of a spiritual connection.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty deep. They build this world issue by issue, and they build it in big ways every issue.
Yeah, and so far it doesn't seem like a happy place. Seems pretty grim.
Yeah, it picks up with a grim reality from the very beginning, and to be honest, it doesn't get a lot happier for a while.
Folks, it kind of reminds me, any of you Stephen King fans out in the audience, The Gunslinger.
Yeah.
It has a wasteland feel, like Old Man Logan type feel, because the background, the wasteland type feel. I can definitely see the multiverse of Stephen King and his Dark Tower series in this.
It's got sort of that Fallen Kingdom kind of feel to it, that
mm-hmm.
the best days of this place are in the past, and they're on hard times all around. And
what are the I'm gonna say the white hats, the good guys? What are they called? The Mazik? I'm terrible at pronouncing names, but the main character group.
You'll have to give me just a second to look that up again.
Oh.
Sound like I'm an expert on it, but I don't.
No, that's okay. Cause I mean, I sprung that on you, but I have a hard time pronouncing things. I'm just looking up the comic now. Of course, they say it every third page, but not the one I just opened up to.
Yeah. I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'm going to take a mulligan on this, and I'll get back to you on that. In the meantime, while you look that up, let me throw my top 3 in for this upcoming week.
All right.
One of which is in agreement with you, which is The King in Black. But Deceased Dead Planet. This is, I believe, the last issue of that miniseries, and if you haven't read this one, it's really good. It follows up to their first Deceased, which is, of course, the DC version of Marvel Zombies, more or less, where you get a good look at what happens if the anti-life equation got unleashed on the DC universe, creates zombies. It's a different take on it, I guess.
I've seen that title. Honestly, I haven't read any of them. I may have read. I'll take that back. I may have read 1 or 2. It's not that it was bad. It just didn't. I don't know. I've had a love-hate relationship of DC, and I'm not sure I was ready to trust that one if that's one I wanted to read. But if you say
I
it's
highly
good,
recommend it. Actually, I highly recommend the first run of Deceased, and then this as well, the follow up. It Look, this is one of those ways when the concept of just doing something that is not setting continuity and doesn't have, you don't have to put a number of what Earth this takes place on. You know, these type of stories work. They're just self-contained stories for the most part, right? I don't need to know, is this Earth 27? Just tell me the story and let's go.
yeah, I
Um,
like the idea of self-contained stories.
yeah, I mean, nobody has to put any of those parameters in place. It's why I'm a little, iffy on this whole infinite frontier thing that DC's coming with next, that says basically you don't need continuity. You can still have continuity because you have to have character development and character growth and things like that. But issues like this prove that you just put it out there. Just put a story out that doesn't take place in the main DC universe, and people are smart enough to understand that it doesn't take place in the main DC universe, and they'll read it. This
Tell
is
you
by
what,
the
who's
same
going to
people who
love that
did.
no.
This is by the same people who did Injustice. So, again, nobody gets Injustice confused with the main DC universe. Those have been running for years and years and years now, and everybody understands that's a different setting, but you don't have to put a number to it to make that work, or you don't have to slap an Elseworlds label over the top of it. Anyway,
The
this
only
is
problem I have with
take.
only problem I have with Injustice is my son regularly whips my butt at the video game when we played. I actually had to give it up because my ego couldn't take it.
That's just life, man. That's playing video games
Yeah.
with people younger than you. You're going to lose. Just
Yes, and he is waiting to hear. I've uttered his name 3 times. I'm surprised he hadn't thundered down the stairs into my studio here. But yeah, he's a pro. He should be going pro. Oh, incidentally, that name of the group, Mosak, Mosak,
Mosak, I think. Yeah, in my head, I hear Mozak. So yeah,
Mosak. Okay.
Yeah.
Just I like to hear somebody else say it. Whether we're right or wrong, that's what I'm gonna go with.
If somebody out there has a correction, please feel free to correct us. But
Yeah, please send us an email, something.
There's a really cool power that the main character has, where basically he creates these bullets that are
The nails.
the spirits of his, the nails, right? They're bullets
Mm-hmm.
that are like the spirits of his family. So when he unleashes those, it's a big deal, and it's like a really powerful thing. And then he gets like a little brief reunion with his departed family members when he unleashes the nails. So
What happens when he runs out of family members?
well, he runs out of bullets, basically.
Could he become like a generalized serial killer, just kill people, take their blood, and use their memories?
Probably. I mean, it would fit with that world. Everybody else is practically a serial killer in that universe. So.
What I've read, there's no good people. There's just shades of gray.
There are good people. Like the main character's father, I think, was like good to a fault. Like he was stubborn.
He was good. It seemed like he was pretty prideful, but again, prideful saved his family.
Yes.
So
Yes.
can't fault him for that.
But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of shades of gray. One last comic for me. I'm actually kind of intrigued by the Superman Worlds of War issue.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Setting
sure if
the
that was
Elder
like
parallel into sort of the cosmic setting. I'm intrigued by that. I want to see what happens when you put Superman out in space and,
just. Oh no, I agree. I didn't actually realize that was the one where they did that. I'm looking at the cover, and it kind of reminds me of John Connors of Mars,
John Carter.
the original John Carter, the original story, which kind of inspired Superman.
Yeah,
this guy, man from Earth on Mars, he had powers above the normal people, and his costume there sort of looks John Connors. It almost looks a little bit World War Hulk. only because it's kind of gladiatorial. That's it.
I'm really hoping it's not just, World War Hulk with Superman instead of Hulk. I really hope it's not.
No, I am too.
I
If
wouldn't put
it's
it
more
past.
like John Connor, no, no, no. I mean, they steal really good storylines back and forth between them. All the big group companies do. But if it is like John Carter of Mars, John Connor, is it Connor or Carter?
Carter.
Carter. That would be good too because he interacted with quite a few different alien races.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I love the John Carter of Mars stories. I even liked the movie, which was a bomb, but
I like the movie too.
Yeah. And DC's got they got a lot of alien races, a lot of different worlds and cultures to play with. It'd be nice to see them do it in a way that isn't always Rand and Thanagar going to war. That's
right.
That's the framework for every cosmic story that DC tells is Rand and Thanagar going to war again.
Oh.
Come on.
Yep. I'm looking, I didn't notice this, but the backup stories for that particular book, Superman Worlds of War, there's a Clark Kent story, a Midnighter, a Black Racer, and a Mr. Miracle. I wonder if that's going to be the Mr. Miracle from Scott-Free Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because we had the other Mr. Miracle, and I can't remember his name.
Shiloh Norman.
Yeah, the other Shiloh, yes, in the other Superman comic. So
yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize that there was also a Mr. Miracle backup in that one. There's a lot of backups in that one.
There's 4 backups in that. That's going to be a big book. Oh well, the cover price is $7.99. I just noticed that too. So that's why you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comics roughly in one book.
Okay, well, fair enough.
If it's good reading and worth it, that's a great price.
Yeah.
If those are sucky stories, that's a bad price.
Well, throw a whole bunch of stuff in there. Surely something's gonna fly, right? And make you feel good about what you spent.
Yeah, what do they say? Run up the flagpole and see who salutes.
Yeah.
Throw it against the wall, see what sticks. I mean, throw enough stuff, something will stick.
Yeah. So I think it's a pretty strong week full of stuff.
There is. I mean, I limited to 5 myself, but there's other things here. There's Catwoman, Wonder Woman. There's the Cable #7 that's been waiting like 3 months to come out.
Right.
I mean, it was supposed to come out sometime during the swords. Yeah, and it didn't. So I don't know if I'm not even sure how they're going to tie that in. Batman and Catwoman next. The next Batman #2. I mean, X-Force. I'm looking at Legion of Superheroes #12.
There's also the second issue of The Expanse, which is
yes
a story.
I need to read the first. I need to catch up on that. I love the show, but I'm behind. I haven't watched this season's yet.
I've watched a few, and man, that's something. I think though the World Class Nerd podcast that's going to come out on Friday. If anybody hops back and forth between these, I think we're not going to do The Expanse on next week. I think we're going to do WandaVision instead.
Good, because I have a hard time getting all my homework done.
WandaVision
Friday.
It's just 2 episodes, so
I'm caught up. I've seen that already.
All right, yeah. Well, I think we're all caught up actually, so we can talk.
Cool. Speaking of caught up, I just noticed I did a deeper dive in these new comics, and there is a King of Black tie-in.
Oh,
Black Cat #2.
That was the one I was thinking. Maybe just judging from the cover, it might have been a tie-in.
Yep, I didn't see it until I started scrolling a little slower and looked a little closer. Ooh, there's an Iron Fist. Nothing wrong with an Iron Fist #1. Heart of the Dragon.
Give it a shot.
Not bad.
So all in all, pretty strong week.
Yeah.
And for people looking for something brand new, that they don't normally read, again, 7 to Eternity is a good one. It's off the beaten path, and
I can recommend start with #1, and you won't be disappointed. Buckle up. It's it's not your easiest read as far as just sit down and look at two super clad figures, punch it out and duke it out. It's a thinker, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yep. Yep.
Again, if you like Stephen King with the interplay between the Dark Tower and the different worlds and a lot of his books being tied in into like a Dark Tower universe, I'm probably speaking out of turn because I haven't read that far into this, but I really have a lot of that feel with this. I don't know. I don't. Maybe just me, but it's good.
It's definitely not like any other comic that's out there.
Not that I've read.
No, it's got its own thing, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. There's plenty of other Image stuff that we'll talk about in the future, but I really wanted to kind of talk about this one leading into our next big chat, which we'll go into some other Image comics. We'll talk a little more maybe about Seven to Eternity when we do our big group chat with Danny and maybe other people. We may have another guest or so on our next Tales from the Longbox. We will definitely jump into some Image stuff, and also we'll touch base again with the King in Black. We will have read number 3 by then and give you our thoughts on that, and also we'll weigh in on the third wave of Future State stuff from DC. So all these comics we've told you are great reads, we will have read by the time we're back on with our next show. So we'll be talking about them.
All right.
Paul, as always, it's always fun to talk to you about comics. And trust me, folks, he will read all of these and more this week.
Yes, I will. For you folks, I will shun my responsibilities around the house and at my professional job to read comics.
Yeah, it's all for you, people. It's a sacrifice he's making for you. It
is research, and I'm willing to do it for you guys.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it for this week's Paul's Pull List, and we will talk to you very soon on the next Tales from the Longbox. Tell them bye, Paul.
Have fun, everybody. Stay classy. Support your local comic shop. They need it right now.
Yes, absolutely. All right. See you next time, folks.
See you.